Namaste. Good evening from the state of Kuwait, and good evening, Biafrans and lovers of freedom. Today's date is 28th of July 2021. It is a date that every Biafran, wherever you are, you will remember today's date. I'm just coming on air. This is an emergency, coming on air just to talk to our people based on the document released from the DOS, signed by MAZI Chikedoziem. This particular document, from now onward, we are giving the Nigerian government and all their terrorist friends, we are giving them till 8th of August to make sure that MAZI NNAMDI KANU is released unconditionally. MAZI NNAMDI KANU must be released. They must show us proof of life. Starting from the August 9th, there will be total shutdown in Biafra land. It is not going to be once. It is going to be every Monday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Biafra land will be shut down. We are telling people now, if you are in Biafra land, bear in mind that starting on Monday, 9th of August, Biafra land will lock down 6 a.m. in the morning to 6 p.m. in the evening. There will be no movement, there will be no business, there will be no market that is open, there will be no bank working, there will be no school. Ipob Eastern Security will enforce these laws if you want to. We all know how we organize our sit at home, but this is we are going to implement. This is a ghost season. Every Monday, the whole Biafra land must be locked down until they release our leader MAZI NNAMDI KANU. Anybody who will try to disobey this law, anybody who will try to disobey this order, he or she or them will have themselves to blame. We have decided that it is no more game as usual. We all saw what happened on the court on 26th of July, 2 days back. They are playing with our intelligence, and we are going to pay them back in the same coin they have paid us. If you are a politician, if you are a governor, senator, irrespective of who you are, all of you are our potential targets. All of you will make sure that MAZI NNAMDI KANU, the way you people sold him out, the same way you are going to make sure he's being released. We are going to spare nobody. We are going to teach you a lesson if you dare try this particular order. We have seen what happened in Imo State. People just sat at home in solidarity with MAZI NNAMDI KANU on the day of his court. Now we are declaring this order. Hopes of them might be ready to lock down every market. Be ready to send every soldier to every market. This is what you have bargained, and we are going to give it to you in excess. This particular time, we have no time to waste again. All of the people who are calling to do this, the DOS, the leadership of Ipob, have decided to move this path, and this path we must follow. If you say you're a supporter of this struggle, if you say you love MAZI NNAMDI KANU, if you say that you are part of this freedom fighting, we are expecting you from now till 8th of August. Prepare yourself, arrange yourself, respect yourself. Starting from 9th, there will be total lockdown. Every Monday, there will be no business in Biafra land. Anything you are doing, concluded by Saturday or Sunday, every Monday there will be no business in Biafra land. We are making this, we gave people time, we gave all this longer time so that people can prepare themselves, put themselves in order, because this ghost town we are implementing have no definite date to stop until our leader is released. I repeat, we have no definite time to stop, only when our leader is released. And from time to time we'll be reviewing our plans on ground If you know you are a saboteur, most of you, you know that you are being paid with the way. You know the price of a saboteur. You know the price of a saboteur. For those who continue to sabotage this struggle, we are not going to exchange words with you, but our action will speak louder. There have never been in the history of any nation where people decide to sabotage their own people, and at the end of the day they go home and have a bottle of champagne. It won't be the same. The same way you have sabotaged this struggle is the same way we are going to pay you back. Do not, I call you IPOB members and Biafrans, do not exchange words with those who are saboteurs. They can come anywhere. They can demonstrate anywhere. They can challenge you anywhere. But we know them. We know them that the agent provocateurs. And we will teach them the lesson that they will know in their next life. If you ask them to be a saboteur, they won't be. All of them who participated in killing of our people in Imo State, in Abia State, if you know that you are part of them, it's better you commit suicide now, because our hands will lay on you. We will never spare you. This is what I have come to clarify on air this evening, and we urge all Biafrans that everybody must start now to prepare for this lockdown. There will be no excuses. There will no had I know. There is no procrastination in this particular order. Get yourself ready. IPOB, we are ready, and I know all Biafrans are ready to embrace this new order. Since they do not want us to sleep and close our eyes, the Nigerian government and their agent will never sleep. This is an order coming from the leadership of IPOB, and we are not going to retreat. We are not going to surrender. Thank you, MAZI NNAMDI, for giving me this opportunity to explain and clarify these few points to our people. May Chukwu Kikabiyama bless you all. I remain MAZI Sanwo-Olu. MAZI Sanwo-Olu is from Obingwa in Abia, Aba province, and I serve the indigenous people of Biafra as a member of the Directorate of State. Thank you so much, MAZI NNAMDI. Thank you.
Welcome, my amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from around the world. If you are joining me from any part of the world, I really do appreciate you. Thank you very much wherever you are joining me from. Please always go to the comment section and leave your comments. Make your contributions, put your suggestion down. That is a place where we interact and hear from each other and know what we feel and what we think about the situation. Continue to comment. Also, share the video with your family and friends. Share the video with everybody that needs to see the video. Share it in every platform. Share it with everyone that can hear our voice. We cannot allow them to take over the space. We cannot allow them to hijack the story. As you know, the media war has started now. It will be hot now than ever. It will be hotter now than ever. That is why we have to make sure we promote every video from the Oduduwa people and from the Biafran agitators. We have to promote the video and make sure the video reach to everyone that is matters. There's a lot of problem in town. There's a lot of problem, and we don't have to be silent. We have to be speaking. We have to speak up now more than ever. As you all know, our supreme leader, MAZI NNAMDI KANU, is in captivity. He is in the hand of the enemy as we speak, and we cannot be silent. This is not the time to be silent. You can hear from that very announcement. Every now and again, you see people coming out to ask us, what are we doing? It is not just talking. Why are we just broadcasting? Why are we just talking? Why not taking action? The time to take action is now. You have heard the announcement from the DOS. That announcement must be carried and be respected to the last button. Go and listen to that announcement again and again. I will continue to play the announcement in all my videos from now onwards until further notice, so that you can be notified. Don't say you are not warned, and don't say you are not be told. Everybody had to participate in this lockdown on every Monday in August. Every Monday until our supreme leader is being released. Go and watch the video again, revise back, watch the video, and be sure of the dates. This is an action that everybody has to participate. Everybody who is in the southeastern part of Nigeria, the Biafra land, must participate in this. It is not a joke. Even if you are not a Biafran and you are living in the Biafran part of that country called Nigeria, you are living in Biafra land, you must respect this to save your own life. You must respect this to respect yourself. Everybody in that country, we know every Biafran will respect this. We are talking about our supreme leader, MAZI NNAMDI KANU. This is not a joke. This is not a time to play. As we all know, we cannot leave our supreme leader, MAZI NNAMDI KANU, in the hand of the enemy. That is very dangerous. We cannot leave him in the hand of the enemy for too long. They are playing a game, and that game we're going to give it back to them. And it has started. Just as the DOSs have made an announcement, that very sit at home every Monday must be observed. It must observe, and as I always tell you, some of you think that the ESN are not working. ESN are fully working. They are working now more than ever. They have more members more than ever. They have more equipment now more than ever. They have more support now more than ever. So if you think that ESN are no longer there because MAZI NNAMDI KANU has been held by the ESS, you are joking. You are just playing with your own life. Everyone must respect this very lockdown that the DOSs have announced. This is the way to show your own solidarity to MAZI NNAMDI KANU, and this is the way to react so that they can be able to let our supreme leader MAZI NNAMDI KANU go and continue his mission. His only mission is to achieve Biafra. We will march into Biafra with our supreme leader MAZI NNAMDI KANU. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what they do. We will march into that freedom. They are trying by all means possible, pushing their propaganda from all corners. As you can see, they are the owner of the conventional media in Nigeria. They have even recruited some international media to begin to push the same narrative with them. But we cannot allow them. It doesn't matter how they try. If you are a Biafran, you have to stand up this time. You have to stand up. We are talking about our supreme leader, MAZI NNAMDI KANU, somebody who is fighting for your right, for my right, for the right of every indigenous person in that country from called Nigeria. He is not just fighting for the Igbos. He is not just fighting for the Biafrans. He is not just fighting for the Southerners. He is fighting for every black race, every indigenous tribe in that country from called Nigeria. That is why you have to stand up. That is why you have to stand up and speak up. He cannot be in captivity for too long. He cannot. And we will not allow that. It doesn't matter how they try. We will not allow that. That is a straight message. We won't allow that. Some of you who are asking, it's not just by talking, it's not just by... Time for action has come. Time to take action will come. And one after the other, a lot of things will be unveiling. Until our supreme leader MAZI NNAMDI KANU is out, we cannot relent in our effort. And if you are on the media, use your platform to speak up, because the media war has just started. The media war has just started. They will push a lot of propaganda, as they are still pushing. They will push more propaganda against our supreme leader MAZI NNAMDI KANU. You can see the interview that was granted to the barrister of our supreme leader MAZI NNAMDI KANU and the barrister of Biafra, Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor. When he was interviewed by Arise Television, they try to change the narrative, even when they have evidence before them. Even when there are evidence, proven evidence before these people, they continue to change the narrative. They are still talking about MAZI NNAMDI KANU jumping bail. MAZI NNAMDI KANU at no time never jumped bail. He only ran away for his life. They came to kill him. Somebody they killed 28 people in his house in order to kill him. They could not succeed. Through the grace of Chukwu Okeabiama, he escaped for his life. And they are saying that he jumped bail. So what they are intending that he should stay there and die. Is that what channel television is planning? Is that what the media in Nigeria is promoting? That is what they are promoting. That is why they are saying that he jumped bail. They wanted him to sit back there and be killed. It is really sad what I hear from this media, this devilish media we have in Nigeria. Devilish media. You can see the idiot again still trying to paint Ipob as being responsible for the jailbreak in Imo State. When even the governor of Imo State have come to make a broadcast, the governor of Imo State come on national TV to make a broadcast that Ipob are not responsible for the jailbreak in Imo State. The video is everywhere.
What happened in Imo State last Monday is unbelievable. A group of hoodlums, of course sponsored by some known politicians in Imo State, decided to destroy public infrastructure and government facilities, and attacked the correctional center facilities and also attacked the police state headquarters, put so many vehicles ablaze, broke the correctional facilities open, and the inmates escaped. However, as at this afternoon, over 80 of these inmates have returned back to the facility, while police and the security agencies are still fishing, identifying some and bringing them back to the facility. But what is important here for take home is for Nigerians to know of the plot by a group of aggrieved politicians to destabilize the government of APC. I have done some thorough investigation and I have a credible lead as to those who are sponsoring these activities of these hoodlums. I don't want to preempt the other investigations by security agencies, but I can tell you we are working hard to ensure that the sponsors of this dastardly act must be brought to book.
You have confirmed to us tonight that what we have seen in Imo State in the past few days is political in nature. Is it possible that you can give us more into who these people are and perhaps maybe give us one or two of their names?
Because I don't want to preempt the ongoing investigation, but we have already credible evidence leading to those who paid the hoodlums, where they met and how they met. And security agencies are already working with this information.
Confirm to us emphatically, you're saying that this was a direct attack on your government.
It is not only on my government. It is both on my government and federal government. Shehu, let me tell you, the situation in the country currently is that some people are trying to sponsor what I can call a synchronized national crisis to bring the government of Muhammad Buhari to disrepute. Otherwise, tell me why these things are happening at this time, particularly in Imo State, APC State, particularly in Imo State, APC State. What is it? People are sponsoring these people, and some of them already caught have made confessional statements. I am going to forward my report to the central government, and I must follow up to ensure those behind these things are brought to book.
Do you subscribe, Governor, to the police preliminary investigation where they said Ipob and the MSN are responsible for the attacks?
Their tactics is that they try to identify grievances of people in a particular area. If it is in Imo State and probably there are some Ipob people who are not happy, they hire hoodlums from outside Imo State. They bring them in pretending to be Ipob, and they commit this crime and they they go away. So it is not about Ipob. Yes, we agree. We have aggrieved Ipob members, but I can tell you, those who are doing this destruction, most of them were brought from outside Imo State.
So, if you say that they are really not Ipob members, another insinuation that a few commentators have put into this is perhaps the military operations that we saw in the past few days, which of course you also commented about. Is there any link between that military operations and what we saw in the last few days?
As I speak.
And yet, these people are still mentioning IPOB as those who are responsible for the jailbreak in Imo State. They are still mentioning, even when there are evidence, video evidence, that the governor, somebody who is supposed to be in charge of the security of the state, somebody who is in charge of the security of the state have come out to say that IPOB is not responsible. Yet, the media is bent on painting IPOB as those who break the jail. This is something that was organized by the DSS in order to tarnish the image of ESN. The media is helping them to push this agenda. They try to name ESN unknown gunmen. They try to paint in ESN with all kind of manner of evil, all kind of atrocities, without any evidence. They will catch a cultist and kill cultists to confess to be a member of ESN. They will catch criminals and ask them to confess to be members of ESN. Some of them giving dates that don't even correspond with anything that ESN is doing. And yet, the media knows about this. Instead of saying the truth, they will continue to promote this. A media that cannot go on investigative journalism and speak the truth. Instead, they sit in their office and begin to promote the agenda of the government. They will all pay dearly with their life. You might say that you are just a broadcaster. You are just a broadcaster selling your soul to the devil. You are just a broadcaster. You are selling yourself to the devil. You cannot even speak the truth. Even when your own family is at risk. Even when your own brother is at risk. Even when the thing we are talking about affects you directly. You can't say the truth. Wait, the time is coming. A time will come when you have no place to hide. I would like to share this video interview with you all. An interview that was granted by Arise Television to our lawyer, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, and see what Ifeanyi Ejiofor had to say and his response to this devilish media we have in Nigeria, who try to paint IPOB evil. Hear the response of our lawyer to them. Let's watch.
Family members, friends, and sympathizers of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the outlawed indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob, were left deeply disappointed on Monday when the Department of State Services, DSS, failed to produce Kanu for the resumption of his trial at the Federal High Court, Abuja. Despite the protest by Kanu's counsel, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, who accused the DSS of refusing to produce the Ipob leader and preventing his lawyers and family members from seeing him, the trial judge, Justice Binta Nyako, insisted that the case could not proceed in the absence of the defendant. The judge adjourned the case to October 21, noting that the annual vacation of judges of the court had commenced. According to her, the court will only reconvene at an earlier date if the prosecution obtained a fiat from the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court for the trial to go on during the court vacation. To discuss what actually transpired in the court on Monday and why the media was prevented from showing the proceedings as they unfolded, we're now being joined from our Abuja studio by counsel to the Ipob leader, Ifeanyi Ejiofor. Good morning, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, and welcome to the Morning Show.
Good morning, Mr. Bati. How are you? Good morning, Mr. Bati. Good morning, Mr. Rufai and Dasua.
Yeah,
good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us. Well, I mean, you must have listened to my introduction. I don't need to repeat details that are already well known out there. But I know you have a story to tell. Tell us your story, and then we'll take it from there with regard to the trial of Nnamdi Kanu.
Mr. Bati, of us, we are fully aware, DSS of Nigeria has a history of gross violation of court orders. And the fact that Nnamdi Kanu was brought to court on 29th day of June 2021 without reference to we, as lawyers, that he was being taken to court on that day, the court made an order. Because the order for the court, for them to produce him in court on 26th of July 2021 for trial to commence, it's an order. So it's immaterial that court commence vacation on that day. They're supposed to have produced him in court. So they have a history of clear violation of court orders. Even in this case, I don't want to mention other cases on record. In this case, on 14th of October 2015, when Nnamdi Kanu was arrested in Lagos and brought to Abuja, he was taken to Magistrate Court on 16th of that October and granted bail by the same court. Then the VSS refused to obey the order granted admitting him to bail. On 19th, he was taken to Federal High Court. Adamola J also granted him bail unconditionally. That order was flouted. Then only for them to file frivolous and unfounded charge, 11-count charge against him on 23rd day of December 2015. So they have the history of flouting court orders. It's immaterial where vacation commenced on 26th. This was brought into court on 26th for trial, for commencement of trial. So, and also it's more so when the DSS has denied us access to him few days before the day for the trial of the case of commencement of trial. We made an effort to see him throughout last week, before the trial on Monday. They never allow us to see him. And it's fundamental that in a criminal proceedings of this nature, we should see, assuming the trial was supposed to go on Monday, it now means that we have no pre-trial conference discussion with our client before that Monday. So we are denied access to see him. And so this is what we are talking about. That was why we filed an application to get him transferred to prison custody. So we will have our access to him to apply for trial. So, and I want to put it on record today that that application, though the court was insistent about getting that application because of the fact that, because he said we're on vacation. But that application will be heard at next adjourned date. When heard, and the court must positively consider the application because we must have a forum to see him, interview him, and also before the trial commences. So it's fundamental that that application is considered in the positive to allow us to have access to him. Though another was made on the 26th of July, court made another based on my application, allowing us access to him Mondays and Thursdays. And I'm in the hope that BSS will also obey these orders. So what happened in court on 26th of July, in summary, is not strange to us. It's very, very conversant with this political trial. We are used to it in 2015. We experienced it. We experienced a situation whereby when we brought to court, we look as if the president is being brought to court. A person has committed no offense unto law. So we are very familiar. But unfortunately, the treatment was extended to the media and also the lawyers who were locked up from the courtroom. So it's unfortunate. And the lawyers, the courtroom is only the jurisdiction where the lawyers belongs to. I was surprised they were locked up. It took my intervention to ensure that many of them were admitted. Because when I came in, I was astonished in the first place that lawyers were locked out from courtroom. So I have to intervene to ensure that some were allowed in. So,
okay, if I we'll take a short break. When we return, the conversation will continue. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thank you for staying with us. You're watching the morning show here on the Rise News channel. Well, the counsel of the Ipob leader, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, is still with us from our Abuja studios, the Ipob leader, Nnamdi Kanu. Thank you so much for staying with us, Mr. Ejiofor. Let's talk about that prayer that was denied by the court, the prayer to have him transferred to a correctional center. Is that solely because you're unable to access him to provide better counsel? Or are there other reasons why you wanted him transferred to a correctional center?
You see, the point is that when a person is charged with criminal offense and the offenses of such a nature my client is charged with, he should be allowed access to his lawyers, also giving adequate time and facility to defend them. So, and we didn't think that the DSS is a convenient forum for him to be detained. So, and it is more so when DSS made it known to us that they've concluded interview, they call it investigation. So I don't know what is still in there. So they should allow him, they will transfer him to a place recognized by law where he's supposed to be for the trial, pending when application for his bail is considered. So because we are being restricted from seeing him in the DSS facility. That was why we filed an application. And also, let me correct this impression. That application hasn't been had. Ordinarily, it's application grantable as a matter of course. So I just mentioned it to the court because it was filed on 14th of July and served on the prosecution of the federal government on Sunday. So, and they filed a counter affidavit to this application on the 16th, 48 hours after being served with application. And they withheld it for the reasons best known to them. They didn't serve us the counter affidavit. Until on 26th morning, in court, they ambushed us with the counter. So I only mentioned to the court that look at what transpired, because they raised issues in their counter affidavit, which you need to address by way of further affidavit. So to ensure that the court hear it on the merit. So, but I mainly brought to the attention of the court, my lord, that application to be for my client to be transferred to prison is grantable as a matter of course. It didn't need a formal application to that effect. But because of the nature of this case, we have to go by a way of formal application, wherein we have to bring in laws, bring in the laws and facts that will necessitate the constitution of the application, the merit and possible granting of the application. So it was adjourned for consideration to no John did. Of course, here where the court asks either the prosecution or we, the first counsel, to come up with an application for fiat to enable him entertain the case during vacation. So that is the position. We are not comfortable with him being detained in DSS custody while the trial commences, and I will object to it and I will oppose it, because that is not a place to be. You may be surprised to hear that during the last visit, one of my colleagues, during our last visitation to him, one of my colleagues was harassed by DSS. And they will call you to come to that place, because when you apply to see him, they will give you a convenient time convenient to them, not convenient to us. They may ask you to come 6 o'clock in the evening, 7 o'clock in the evening, or come on Saturdays. So I don't think we're going to work with that kind of guideline. And if you go there by 6 o'clock in the evening or 7 o'clock in the evening, you end up leaving the premises around 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock under clear case, under intimidation. So, and one of my colleagues was harassed. I don't want to make it public, but I'm saying it. So we cannot effectively defend him while in DSS custody. So we are going to oppose it. He must be transferred to prison custody. So we are going to address it in the fullness of time, because we are going to file a further affidavit to that effect and get it argued on the merit on a certain date. So thank you.
All right. So I'd like to ask, you say you've not been getting access as you should get. When last did you see Nnamdi Kanu? Number one, what was his state when you saw him? Two, I also like to ask you, have you been able to now go one step further? Because there was this clause about the judge not being a vacation judge, to file that fiat. And thirdly, there were some IPOB members arrested, that day on the 26th that he was supposed to be in court. And I remember, I think it was our political editor, our chief political editor, Somna Sambo, that was telling you while you were granting the press audience that day that some members were arrested and you didn't even know about it. What's the state with those people? What's going on? Have you been able to intervene in their case, and what were they arrested for?
Well, some of them, after my interview and also possible appeal to the security agents, some were released. So we have a minimum number of them still in detention. Now we're following up. I've already made a contact with CP, FCT, to ensure they are giving they are released unconditionally. And we are going there this morning to follow it up. So, of course, the way and manner they behave. These people, court is a public place, accessible to the public. And they never conducted themselves in a manner that suggests they are violent. They were just there to observe the proceedings of the court. But what happened before the court is a matter of serious concern to the public and to the world. You see this as if there's a war going on, battle going on, shooting all over the places, intimidating people. So, obviously, if that kind of atmosphere continues to be witnessed in any time the matter is adjourned for hearing, that means there will be no fair trial. Because the same federal government prosecuting Nnamdi Kanu is also chasing fly away from the court from observing the proceedings of the court, while we are restrained from coming to the court. So it's a matter of serious concern, and we are taking steps, because as I speak to you, international community is following up. They are watching on what's playing out in court. I don't want to mention them, but it's a matter international community is following up. The American government also has, they are following up. I don't want to mention the foreign government who are interested in the matter, but I can assure you that the foreign government is following up, and we are briefing them daily on what's transpiring in court. So it's no longer business as usual, where people's rights will be grossly violated and they will go unchecked. So we are taking steps to ensure that we will keep the world abreast of what is playing out there. Coming to the issue of people arrested, I was also informed yesterday that people who came for the trial, who came to witness the trial, also we are arrested in Kogi, Lokoja, so by military, and they're being detained today. About 30 of them, they were arrested yesterday and still being detained as I speak to you at this moment. So we are still also following up on that, and I'm appealing to the security agency to prevail on the chief army staff to direct people to release my people who were in court on that day, people who merely came to observe the proceedings and cheer out their leader. So they should release them because they didn't come to cause any form of havoc or violence during the proceedings. They were arrested yesterday on our way going back to the east at Lokoja, and are still being detained in Lokoja military barrack today.
Counsel, what are your next steps? Is it possible for you to outline your next steps for us? it's clear that your client will remain in custody.
Okay, thank you so much.
Till, October. So what are the next steps that you intend to take? If you could just outline them for purposes of clarity.
We have taken steps to apply to the Honorable CJ for fiat because the court gave us a window that either the prosecution or the defense counsel will also apply. We have done that, and I know they will not apply. So we applied and waiting for approval from the CJ in that regard. So, and also, in line with the substantive order of court, that we should see him on Mondays and Thursdays. I already informed the public that we're going to see him tomorrow at 2 p.m. So I understand that the ESS will have made communication with them, refused to reply our text. But I will go there tomorrow by 2 p.m. So, and whatever outcome, I will make it public. So, because we can't continue to live this way. So, if they don't want to try him, they should let us know. That's the position. Awaiting the approval of the CJ for an application to grant fiat to the honorable court to hear the matter during vacation. That's what we are waiting for. And it's more so when my lord had expressed interest to entertain this charge during the vacation. So, and it makes it more easy for us, because if the lordship is not disposed to hear the application, to hear the suit during the vacation, it would have been a different thing altogether. So that ground enough, I believe the CJ will consider application on the merit.
Okay, that's the.
But also, let me correct this impression. I find it very worrisome, because severally I've heard you over the media, and also I watch you. We followed you on social media. I also watch your programs most likely every morning, and I've heard you severally mention about Nnamdi Kanu arrest in Kenya. So, and it's important at this function. I find it a convenient forum to correct that narrative. And also, I believe this my position will influence yours too. I want to understand the fact that Nnamdi Kanu was never arrested in Kenya. So what took place in Kenya was a clear case of abduction and kidnapping. So I want you to let the world understand this part. He was not arrested. So the issue of arrest never come to play. So because if you compare what's happened to Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya and what is playing out today in Benin Republic, you see that Ipob was arrested and taken to custody where he's being subjected to trial. But Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped at Nairobi airport, taken to a place, not even a police facility. Also, you may also be surprised to hear this morning that upon his abduction, within 24 hours of the abduction, people who are familiar, who are his friends, start looking for him. And they visited all the police facility in Nairobi in search of him. He was not seen anywhere. So, and he was detained in that private residence for 8 days. So that is a clear case of kidnapping. So after 8 days, he was now handed over to the Nigerian security agents who smuggled him by external rendition. So what happened in Kenya is a clear case of operation against Nnamdi Kanu, which is a gross violation of international law, which Nigeria and Kenya are all signatory to the treaty. I mean, Geneva Convention protocols, and also protocol against torture of persons. So, which we have already invited the international community, International Court of Justice, to investigate what transpired in Kenya. So, I don't want to go into the merit of that, but let me just correct that impression. So, the issue of arrest does not even come in the first place. So, I want to correct you to stop telling people that Nnamdi was arrested in Kenya. He was never arrested. He was abducted by rendition rendition oppression. He was never arrested. So, if they have arrested, if he was truly arrested in Kenya, they were subjected him to the proceedings, the surrender proceedings in Kenya. Then the world would know he was arrested. So what happened to Ipob? Ipob was arrested, and it was made known to the public that he was arrested. So he wasn't arrested. So let us correct that impression, because it's giving my people very serious concern each time you mention about arrest. And you can see me using word kidnapping and abduction regularly in my interview. So I'm not mistaken about it. So there's a clear word of difference between a case of arrest and also a case of abduction. So what happened to my client in Kenya is a clear case of abduction and kidnapping. So I want you to be reflecting it in your subsequent interview, please. Because I heard you telling the Visa Commissioner that he was arrested in Kenya. No, he was not arrested in Kenya. Thank you so much for that.
You must well advised that I know the difference between arrest and also extraordinary rendition. Those are not issues that can be explained to me. But I know that, you guys have approached the African Commission on Human and People's Rights to specifically accuse the Nigerian government of abduction. Where are we with that?
Sure. No, we're waiting for the communication has already been sent to them. We're waiting for further directive from the African Union. And I believe we also filed a affidavit of urgency. There's a certain urgent attention to that correspondence. So I believe, and we're checking up. But I believe I should be more at home with the issue of abduction and arrest than you. As, with being fair, with all fairness to you. So I believe I should be more at home with that, what arrest amounts and what abduction amounts.
No,
so
I don't need any education
the word is
on
listening.
the subject. No, I don't need any education.
No, well, I'm a lawyer now. I don't think.
No, don't worry about that.
I'm an expert in this field, Mr. Mati.
Don't worry. You are not in a position to educate me. Adesua, please.
Yes, Mr. Ejiofor, the last time you were on the morning show, you raised concerns over your clients getting fair trial. Can I ask you, do you think that your client is being tried in the court of public opinion? And are you worried that that may affect the outcome or the decision of the courts?
Thank you, thank you, Adesua. I thank you for reminding me this. Because the point is that what is playing out today, and this Nigerian government is conversant with that, is we are conducting what they call media trial. And we are good for, we are with them in that, on that part. So I don't think we have a problem with that. We are doing what they call media trial. Of course, before the last agenda, before 26th of July, the world was informed by the Honorable AG that what will be seen in court on 26th of July, we're going to see a case of murder, terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, or whatnot. But I can assure you, I can confirm to you this morning, that on 26th of July 2021, we're in court. There was no new charge introduced to in this case. There was no any form of amendment in this charge. No form of amendment. So we are into what they call trial, media trial. So, and we need to inform the public very well, properly. So there was no amendment to the charge. And you know, in law, you have, see who assert must prove. It's one thing for you to level allegation against somebody, as frivolous, unfounded, and bogus as they may be. But it's for us to come to the court and establish it. So the fact that you are saying that you are going to see a case of murder, banditry, kidnapping, and all whatnot, and in court we didn't see anything. So even the application will file in time, serve on them on 14th of July. We are not responding, we are not serving on us in good time. Because if they had filed and served that application in good time, we have responded and possibly convinced the court to take the application on that day. So I am not averse to this kind of practice. We are very familiar with it. It's been on since 2015, and we are there for them. So they will first of all try somebody, particularly somebody with somebody who is standing on a political trial, or special interest, or media, and getting convicted. So I can assure you that 60 or 80% of uninformed Nigerians had already believed that Nnamdi Kanu committed a case of murder, a case of kidnapping, a case of torture. When there's no such cases, even in the court, there was no such charge in court. So it is their practice, and we are good with them. We are going to give them, follow the head on that part.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm not worried at all. So okay. Whatever they're saying, we're going to get it debunked in the public opinion.
Okay, Mr. Ejiofor, I mean, you didn't answer my question I asked earlier on. I asked about when last, did you sorry, Mr. Rufai. Did you see Nnamdi Kanu? Because you said you've not been getting access to him. What was his state? I also asked you, I also have more questions. We'll come back after the break. We'll talk some more. All right, welcome back. So we still have a counsel to Nnamdi Kanu, Ifa Ejiofor here. Ifa, I was asking before two things real quickly because of time. Number one, the state of Nnamdi Kanu the last time you saw him. What's his health like? Secondly, Katrina Lang, British High Commissioner, yesterday said Britain will provide consular services. What's the talk about that? Have you spoken to the British as regards this? Let's talk quickly. Be fine.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rufai. I'll be very quick about my response on this. So, on record, and also on record of the SS, we visited Nnamdi Kanu last on 17th of July, 2021. That was on a Saturday. The Saturday, they asked us to come around 6 p.m. and around 4 p.m. And we were there till about 10 to 10 o'clock in the night. That was then the concluded interview with him. So that was last time we saw him. And at the time we saw him, he was still wriggling in pains of grievous injuries he sustained on account of the torture meted out to him during his detention in Kenya. And secondly, and the burden of solitary confinement. because when somebody is kept in a confinement where he has access to his relatives, friends, and well-wishers, where he cannot communicate with anybody, you know the burdensome, you know how it is for somebody to be kept in such an environment, and he's not giving much attention. So, and last week we made serious effort to see him and also get him prepared for the trial that's supposed to commence on Monday this week. So on 19th, we made a contact with the DSS department who are corresponding with us in this case. They refused to give us attention. 20th, something happened. 21st, something happened. 22nd, 23rd, 24th, we didn't see him. So, and we have to cry to the court and inform the court about the position of the DSS, that they refuse access to him. So that is the position as it stands now. But let me hope and believe God that the other court just made on 26th of July that DSS will obey it. Then secondly, I can confirm to you this morning that British High Commission or British government is not doing much about this case. I can confirm also to you that there's every likelihood of connivance in what happened in the fate of my client on the part of the British government. Because sometime 2015, Nnamdi Kanu was arrested in Lagos, a British national. I know what happened. I know therefore they met. I know how they were keeping in constant communication with me. How they were visiting him both in SSS, where he was initially detained, before taken to prison. They were there severally. Every 2 days they used to visit him in prison, in DSS facility, when he was being kept detained there. And when he was transferred to prison, they were going and visiting him regularly. At times they will make sure they will call to confirm from me about his medical state condition, whether they were still with medical experts. These are things they did in 2015, 16, 17 before he was granted bail. But today, as at yesterday was 27th of July 2021. A British national was arrested on 19th, was abducted on 19th of June 2021, smuggled into Nigeria thereafter, and was taken to court on 29th. And these things happened to the knowledge of British government. And apart from that, we will not formally notify them about what's happening to his national. Because at the time Nnamdi Kanu was arrested in Kenya, he was arrested as a British national. He has already announced his Nigerian citizenship for 5 years or 6 years before now. So, and they are, yes, and yesterday being 27, the British High Commission is talking about offering consular services to Mr. Kanu. I wish I had opportunity of talking to him. I was asking the High Commissioner, why haven't you seen him since that time? Have they seen him? This is a pertinent question to ask her. They've not set their eyes on him. They can't talk about offering any form of service to them. Today, I can confirm that to you. So, and you can ask, at least Mr. Bati will observe from the question, the manner he answered this question, that they are talking about that the Nnamdi Kanu is not a serious issue that is discussing now in the educational summit going on in the UK. That I have other serious issues that are discussing. So he just responded to you by way of passing. It's not a matter that taking serious as you may be expecting. But what I believe, and which we are activating now, is that they obviously need a force of law to assert the obligation to the international. Well, and we are doing that with our partners in the UK are doing that.
We're running out of time. We have just about a minute to go, but very quickly. One, I would like to ask you, how helpful do you think the protests in parts of the Southeast are to the Nnamdi Kanu case? Because yesterday we were told there were protests, particularly in Onitsha. And then secondly, I mean, the issue about, our lordship saying, look, she will not grant the transfer of, the accused person from DSS custody to Kuje prison. What do you think of that, considering the fact that the ESN and Ipob have been accused in the Southeast of, freeing persons who were remanded in prison custody in the East? Whether that is true or not is for you to determine. And previously, also, your client jumped bail. Do you think that the court of Justice Binta Nyako, considered all of this to take that decision? He's saying he's better off in DSS custody. Very quickly.
Thank you so much. Mr. Bati, in the first place, you have been misinformed. The court never entertained my application to get him transferred to prison. The court said he will hear the application and next certain date. But when I orally applied for him to be transferred to prison. The court said he will not grant it now. And I informed the court that we'll have an application before the court formally before the court to get him transferred to prison. And that application will be entertained on the merit and next adjourned date. That hasn't been had. So coming to freeing person from prisons and in the Southeast, I don't think I'll say more to that effect, because the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodimma, in several forums, has told the world that those who tampered with the prison facility in Imo State and police headquarters are not IPOB members. It's on record. You must have it with you. So, and that has to a reasonable extent vindicated on every allegations against them to that effect. He's told the world that those who were involved in that act were neither IPOB member, not ESN, or people associated with IPOB. I'm talking about the chief security officer of Imo State. He said it. So who am I to say the contrary or arrive at the contrary? So the court didn't say he will not grant the transfer. The application will be held on the merit. IPOB, and also it's a mere speculation over the media about the about the safety, his safety in prison. Let me say this to you: when Nnamdi Kanu was detained in 2015 in Kuje prison, you must have heard about prison break during that period. There was an attempt at prison break, but Nnamdi Kanu stood still at where he was being kept. And there was issue. He never bothered. And it was an attempt by Boko Haram then to invade the prison, to break the prison. It's on record. He was there. He was in his cell, comfortably, never made any effort to go. So make inquiry from prison authority. They will tell you that Nnamdi Kanu is a fine gentleman. He's a non-violent person. So that should be a facility where you keep. It's a person that have respect for rule of law and others. So it can never, not of such that will happen. And that's why we're insisting that that application should be heard on the merit by court. And delivered only one way or the other. Because we have facts with us. We have his antecedents when he was detained in prison in 2015. And I can assure you that the court will be convinced to grant that application. And also, I remember last time you asked me about the superiority of Nigerian British passport and the British passport. I believe the present situation must have answered that question to you. Only a few days ago, President Buhari traveled to UK for medical tourism. So if Nigeria is working well, why is he going to UK? So I believe that question has been answered. I believe I'm not missing any of your question again.
Well, Counsel, thank you very much. Ifeanyi Ejiofor. But I would like you to go with this. We're completely neutral in this matter. We're not taking sides. We're a media house. And that's why again and again we invite you. So that you can give our viewers, the benefit of what you know. But we're not taking sides. We're totally neutral. We have no, special interest beyond journalism
I hope so.
in the matter.
I hope so, Mr. Abati.
Well, I've just told you that is the situation.
So much,
that is where we stand in the matter. But thank you for always obliging.
After watching and seeing the response of our lawyer, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, you can see that these people are very devilish. With all the evidence out there for them to see, they ignore all those evidence and continue to push lies, push false narrative. That is what they are pushing. That is why we are here. That is why we are here on social media. And they cannot take us out. This is a place where you say it the way it is. You are not afraid of anybody. Nobody is going to censor you. Just say it the way it is, and that is exactly what we are doing. IPOB is not a terrorist organization and will never be. IPOB is not a terrorist organization and will never be. The ESN are not terrorists. They are a security network to fight against the terrorists in the southeastern part of Nigeria, and that is exactly what they are doing. Remember, our supreme leader warned and said that their assignment is in the bushes, not in the home. If you have forgotten, I will continue to play the message of MAZI NNAMDI KANU. The reason why I play the message is to continue to remind those idiots who are pushing those false narratives. To continue to remind those idiots who are pushing those false narratives that we have our evidence at hand. When MAZI NNAMDI KANU launched the ESN, he made a broadcast and he said it clear. He made his mention clear. And since then, the ESN has been following that very directive. The ESN operate in the bushes, and their duty is to secure our bushes, secure our mothers in going to the farm, to fight against the terrorists, to fight against the armed bandits and Fulani terrorists who are in the bushes trying to occupy our land. That is the mission. ESM was not established to fight against the police. They were not established to fight against the army. They were not established to fight against the innocent people. In case you have forgotten, listen to the broadcast once again. After hearing from our Supreme Leader MAZI NNAMDI KANU, if you are not yet convinced, then go to hell and burn to ashes. That is it. If you are not yet, continue to push your agenda, continue to push your propaganda. It can never fly. It can never fly. We have our evidence in our hands. Everything that we do, we say. Everything our Supreme Leader said, he has never denied. He pushed it forward and he tells you that he said it and he stands by it. May Chukwu Abiyama continue to guide and protect our Supreme Leader MAZI NNAMDI KANU. May Chukwu Abiyama continue to protect Sunday Igboho wherever he is. May Chukwu Abiyama continue to protect Oduduwa and Biafra and every other person who is legitimately fighting for the freedom of his own people in that very country called Nigeria. Thank you so much for watching wherever you are watching from. Bye bye. See you again on the next video.